Hello and welcome. This is It's Always About Love with Lynn Lara and Lee Evans. We are here to offer you answers to all your questions, whatever your question may be on any relationship topic. Lynn has been a psychotherapist for many years in private practice. Today, she's bringing all of that experience and wisdom to help you. We care. We're not here to judge. We are here to offer compassion and understanding. It is Lynn's sincere desire to help you and make what you learn today usable in your life right now. Do you have something going on in your life that is troubling you? Send us a private email to itsalwaysaboutLove1@gmail.com. That's its always about love 1@gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. And we're about ready to get started. And Lynn, are you with us?
I'm here. I am with you.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Hi, Lee.
Glad to hear it. Hi, Lynn.
How are you?
I'm so good, and I'm happy to be here with you today.
Why are you good?
I'm good because, honestly, I am learning so much by the emails that we receive and the wisdom that you give. I just can't tell you how much I'm learning.
That's wonderful. I'm really glad I asked you. I didn't know what you were going to be saying. That's nice. I thought you were going to tell me that you had a good lunch today in a restaurant or something, but I like what you said much better than any of the things I might have come up with. Thank you so much. Isn't this wonderful what we're doing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm real happy. I wish I would have started it several years back. But, I did have two different radio stations, and now we do podcasts. And, what a different world. We're growing and growing. So I have two letters that I'm going to be working with today. And the first, remember Sarah from yesterday and last week?
Yes, I do.
25-year-old Sarah, right.
Yes.
Okay, well, she sent one more letter, and I just wanted to answer it, so I thought I'd read it. Is that okay with you, Lee?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we love Sarah here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, she says, "Thank you, Lynn. I guess I just thought by 25 I would have accomplished all of those things." That's really cute. Sarah, you got a long ways to go. She thought she would have accomplished, I thought I would have accomplished getting married, having babies by now, but I haven't. It is really disappointing, especially when everyone around me, who is much younger than me, are accomplishing it before I am. 25 is practically 30. No, it's not, Sarah. Trust me, it's not. I remember when I turned 30 and I had a big party for myself, and I just wanted to be surrounded with friends because I thought 30 was really old. You guys, life is so long. So what she says, 25 is practically 30, and I have no long-term relationship, no kids, nothing. I feel unaccomplished. Oh, but you are not that. You are not, Sarah, you sweetheart. I definitely think I need to work on myself. I am just afraid of losing him. We know who you're talking about, Sarah. I really feel like he was the one. I have never clicked with someone so well, and now I feel lost. What do I do? And she signs it, Sarah. That's sweet. That's her name with us. Oh, Sarah. You go back to dating, honey, and meeting new fellows and having a good time, and you don't feel like you have to work on yourself. You don't have to work on yourself. Actually, Sarah, you're just fine the way you are. And 25 isn't old. Not at all. You have years and years and years ahead of you. But here's what you're doing that's causing all of this. You're judging yourself. by what other people you know are doing. Listen to that. You're judging yourself by what other people you know are doing, and you're losing. And what's really funny is that your friends are probably looking at you and thinking that they wish they had your life, Sarah. And it's a funny world we live in. I want you to start accepting yourself, just as you are, and no more thinking that you have to hurry and get what they have. Sarah, you're going to have it in plenty of time. Not only that, but I think it's funny, because I bet if you told them this, they'd say, "Are you kidding? I've been wishing I was single like you are." Promise you that's true, Sarah. Betcha. Let's make a bet. Okay. And Sarah, you get to keep on writing to us. We love hearing from you. You are our special baby. And the next person that wrote is a woman I'm calling Joan. Joan says, my husband and I have only been married for 3 months, but we have been together exclusively for 4 years before getting married. Joan really writes well, Lee. She's a good writer. She's
good.
real good. I like it. I like what she says. My husband and I have only been married for 3 months, but we've been together exclusively for 4 years before getting married. Throughout our relationship, he's always had a hard time dealing with conflict, arguments, and disagreements. His usual response is to give me the silent treatment. In the past, I've always been the one to break the silence and beg him to talk to me. I usually end up apologizing for things I didn't do just to fix the situation. Our most recent argument has left me very angry. He is blaming me for throwing away a card, C-A-R-D, from a female friend. We had a ton of gift cards that we received as wedding gifts that I had thrown in a drawer. To make a long story short, I feel like he is so quick to blame me for this because this is a female friend that I said I didn't like. This is now day 3 of the silent treatment, and I am at my breaking point. Can you hear the cat?
Yes, I can.
Got a cat. He'd like to sit on my lap. Go away, honey. To make a long story short, I feel like he's so quick to blame me for this because this is a female friend I said I didn't like. This is now day 3 of the silent treatment, and I am at my breaking point. My heart is telling me to talk to him so we can move on and be happy again. But my head is refusing to let me be the first to break the silence once again. What do I do? It's a song. What do I do? Joan, this is a fight about a fight. Do you get that? This is a fight about a fight that the two of you are having. And who is going to be the first one to speak? And listen, even though you fought this way in the past, it's more pressing this time. Do you know why? Do you know why it would be more pressing now, Lee?
No. I was going to ask why.
Because I thought you'd never ask, Lee. Because, would you be quiet? You're getting, this cat runs my house. Okay. Because they got married. And when you get married, things get big. Because marriage changes things and makes them permanent. The vows of marriage, I'll go on. But that's what's going on. I have a hunch that this kind of fighting is only just beginning. The two of you have been together for years, but you weren't fighting this way before you married. let me tell you why I think this new way of fighting has come about all of a sudden. Your husband is suddenly dealing with a fear of being trapped by the bounds of marriage. Think about that. Does that make sense to you, Lee?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
sure. And she is too. It didn't go on while you were living together, even though you fought this way, but it wasn't imperative. It wasn't that important. But now you guys have taken vows, and it's become critical. It didn't go on while you were living together because all those years you hadn't taken those vows of commitment yet. But aren't they just there now? Your husband is suddenly feeling trapped. And what about you, Joan? I need to ask this. I'm not saying you've lied, and it's not important to me if you have, but did you allow something to happen to the one card in the drawer that gave you a small amount of jealousy? I would understand if you did, because that could be your way of feeling afraid now that all of us have said the vows of forever after. They change they change wonderful relationships into fearful, what do I do now? Understand it, Lee?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. It happens, it happens. So it wasn't going on before, not the way it is now. You guys fought before, but not as urgently, and you didn't reach out for help, and it's going on now. Let me take a quick little swallow of my juice. Okay, so it wasn't going on before, and it is going on now. I've decided, Joan, you guys are newlyweds, and I think that that's beautiful. I'm going to email you a letter that will be from me, and it's going to be about what I've just said to you. You're needing to get this out in the open, and your husband isn't listening to this right now. I'm assuming that that's true. I guess he could, but I thought I'd email you a letter. And here's what it is, because I want you to read it to each other, one or the other of you, each evening before you go to bed. And what you say is, or what you read, just because we have said the vows are not of being stuck. The vows are vows of the happiness and joy the two of us can look forward to in our future years. The vows are about a deeper love than we have ever had before. And you can say amen after that if you want to, because it is a prayer. And I'd like you to read this last part about the vows, what the vows you have made to one another are truly about. And I'd like you to read it to each other in the evening before you go to bed. And I predict that once you understand that this is a relationship that allows the two of you to have more freedom. Even though you've been feeling trapped, you're going to have more freedom with one another than you've ever had before. Then you can continue to grow together in love. How wonderful, grow together in love. And here it comes. Lee, why will they grow together in love?
Because it's always about love.
Yay, yay.
Yay!
And aren't we blessed? We
Yes.
are. I love this. So, what do you think? How are you feeling, Lee, about the program? I like that. And I've got to get the letter out to them.
I think that's a really good idea. And to read it every night to each other before bed, that is a very good idea.
Yeah. You know what, Lee? Let's offer it to everybody. Can we do that?
Okay, now how will we do that?
Well, I don't know. We haven't done this before. If you all send Lee your email address, I will if you like those vows. If you want something else in your vows, just let me know. But I will send it to you on your email address. We can do that, can't we, Lee?
Sure.
Yeah, and I can put a border around it. I love doing that. I'd like to do that, and not just for Joan and her new husband. Anybody who wants that, I'm happy to do that for you. Just write to Lee at It's Always About Love. You heard that. It's ITS, always about love, the number 1, at gmail.com. Let us know what your email address is, and we'll email you back the vows. I may change them and make them, I may even make them prettier. But what that was about was what our vows really mean, that we grow together in love. I love that. Okay. You
I
know
do
what?
too.
You do? I'm glad,
Yes.
honey. So, I think we've got a little bit of time left, right?
We do have a little bit of time.
How many little bit?
We have approximately 10 minutes.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to talk about right now?
Well, I thought that Joan's email was really interesting, and there was something you said. This is a fight about a fight.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And
And okay, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's a fight about a fight. And so is that setting parameters within the marriage? Is that what you mean by a fight about a fight?
Well, you know what? It's because of fear. And we're not talking about the fear.
Okay.
There are two things going on. Fear of commitment, because they haven't had this kind of a commitment. People, when they get married, get scared. They can. After the honeymoon is over, they get scared that they're stuck. Okay. So, and they're not stuck any more than they were. In fact, they have more freedom. And when a marriage truly becomes intimate, or a relationship truly becomes intimate, intimacy is the most beautiful experience. I'm not talking about physical intimacy, although the physical intimacy changes also. But the emotional intimacy that exists between a couple is beautiful, beautiful. What a wonderful thing. The vows of marriage. And I've done probably maybe a couple hundred weddings that I have had the privilege of being the minister at, the officiant, the minister. And the ring of love that I got to stand, the circle of love that I got to stand in front of that couple, oh, it used to just bring chills. And I've cried at several. I want to tell a story. I had, if you're out there listening, it's fine with me. I love you guys. But I had a couple who I was going to do their ceremony, and she got into an automobile accident the night before, and her face was all swollen. And here she is, a bride. And I watched her come down the aisle, and I had tears in my eyes. We were just glad that she was able to, wasn't seriously in the hospital. And I looked out at the audience and I said, you have no idea how beautiful this bride is. She is one of the most beautiful brides that I've ever had the privilege of getting to stand in front of. And then I had them face each other, and we went through our vows. No, we didn't. They did. And he kept on reaching over and kissing her on her cheek. And he kept on doing it. And finally I said, stop this wedding. And there was a gasp from the audience. or the guests, excuse me. And I said, listen to me. I forget his name now. I did not say you may kiss the bride. You stop this right now. And everyone out there laughed and laughed. That was great. That was one of my favorites, but I've had many. I got to perform a marriage ceremony in Seattle on the top of, what is it called? The big tower.
Space Needle. Space
The
Needle.
Space Needle. Yes, and that couple went all over the country or the world, I guess. And every year they got married someplace else. And this was their year to get married in Seattle. You thought we had 10 minutes left, didn't you? Now I'm
Yes.
talking about this, and so they were getting married up on top of the Space Needle. And I had everyone go out and get guests for their wedding so that we could have other people there too. Oh, it was a beautiful time. What else have I had? Beautiful ceremonies. So what happens is I've gotten the gift of getting to stand in the circle of love that exists between a couple as they marry. And it is truly a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. And then what I would always experience after the ceremony was over and everyone was doing whatever, and then we all sat down to eat, but I rarely stayed because the truth is what was going on for me was that I felt very lonely once I left that circle of love because it was so beautiful and such a high that it made me lonely afterwards, so I would go home. And not to be lonely then, but it just was different because it was such a beautiful experience. I loved it. And I've married couples who have their little children with them. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, I think I'm done saying this now. Did I ask you anything that brought this on?
Well, no, I asked you a fight about a fight,
Okay.
and
That's
we
right,
learned
you
some more
did.
things.
And I
Yes.
started talking about getting married. Yes.
Yeah. About the fear of commitment, and then we went over to getting married, which I thought
Yeah.
that was beautiful. What a
Oh,
beautiful stories. Thank
oh,
you.
it was. It was. It was. It was. And I don't think I'm done getting the privilege of marrying couples.
You're amazing.
Oh, what did you say?
I said you're amazing.
Oh, well,
That's wonderful.
the way that it started was back in 1975, before many of you were born. I was seeing clients already. I already had a full practice. And I thought, I am not licensed yet. So I thought I should do something. So back then, it was during the Vietnam War, and the men in Vietnam, or the soldiers who wanted to go to Canada and get out of the Vietnam War, would write to this place that gave them ministers' credentials so that they could say, no, they were a minister, they couldn't fight in the war. Those were conscientious objectors. So I thought, well, why don't I get a ministry's license so that I can marry couples? And it was legal, and I've used it for, 40 years now. I haven't, though, just lately in the last several years, I haven't been using it. I haven't had occasion to use it, but I certainly would again. It was a beautiful thing to do. I loved it. And I cried. Sometimes I did. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I know. And when my daughter and my son-in-law got married, I said, I think I ought to get to marry you. And my daughter said, Mom, you will cry. We do not want our minister to cry. And she was right. I would have cried. Not for anything other than because I really loved both of them. And look at how it's turned out. It's so painful. So wrong. So wrong. I'm done now. I think it's time for us to end. What do you think, Lee?
I think so too. And to everyone, all our listeners, We will be back tomorrow.
We hope.
We will be. It's 5 p.m. Pacific time. And remember, until tomorrow,
Yes.
it's always
about love.
Yes, it is. See you then.
Love you,
Bye-bye.
honey. Bye-bye.